This is an IoT-enabled environment monitor which I recently developed. It can be used in a variety of spaces like household spaces, more critical spaces like operation theaters or clean room environments, or even in industrial conditions where the environment is hot and humid and there's a lot of dust floating around in your local environment. So on the screen, you can see temperature, humidity, and dew point readings. Dew point is actually calculated from the temperature and humidity. So there's just one temperature and humidity sensor. Along with that, there's also a particulate matter sensor, which measures the amount of dust particles or fine particles which are floating around in your local environment. So it gives the particulate matter count in three distinct readings. One is PC 0.5, which is the particle count of particles which are larger than 0.5 micron. PC1 is for the particles which are larger than 1 micron, and PC5 is for the particles which are larger than 5 microns. Right now, the device is switched off. I have not connected any power. You can connect power through a USB-C cable, and be careful not to connect a laptop charger with it, because sometimes laptop chargers cannot supply 5 volts, so this requires 5 volts. Any kind of mobile charger like the one I am using, this I believe is a this is an iPad charger. These kind of chargers will work perfectly fine with this. Once I connect power, you will see the power up sequence that I'll get to in a few minutes. But let me just give you a walk around of the product. So we also have an Ethernet port. So if you choose to have wired network connection, you can plug in the RJ45 Ethernet cable into it. I have already showed you the particulate matter sensor. There are a few indication LEDs for power, and on the screen you can see it was connected to Wi-Fi last, and we can also see the IP address of it. So I have displayed the network information on the screen because this also hosts a local web page where you can see all these details, and you just need to type in this IP address in your browser window, and you can see the hosted web page with all the temperature, humidity, dew point, and particulate matter count measurements. Initially, in the original design, I had the temperature sensor right over here on the board, but that temperature sensor was reading a slightly higher temperature because the board is heating up a little bit, not too much, but minutely, like 1 or 2 degrees, and the sensor would catch that temperature. So later on, I had to modify and add a long tail to it, and I added another temperature sensor which is far away from the board, and now it reads the correct room temperature. You can also see a bunch of cables which are coming from inside the device. It's quite crude right now, but in the next revision, there are a few considerations which I have to take into account, like this temperature sensor issue. So right now it is based on a ESP32 platform, but I have faced some irregularity with ESP32s, and um, basically I don't like developing devices with ESP32 anymore. I used to, but not anymore. It's not very reliable. So in the next revision, we are planning to move to RP2040 or STM platform to have a little bit more reliability into the product. Um, so yeah, that's about it for the product. And okay, so along with the locally hosted web page, this also sends JSON data to a server which you can customize, and also you can customize the JSON data which this device is sending. And on the server, you can like work on that JSON data, maybe store it, and have a long-term report generated, or that's completely up to the user. however the user wants to manipulate or like use the data coming from this device. And yeah, on the networking side, it is completely flexible and customizable. However, you want it to customize, you can do that. Even on the firmware side, it can be customized, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Okay, enough about the product. Let's show you the power on sequence. So right now, once I put the USB power in, it should start booting up. And this is a e-paper display. So e-paper displays refresh in a odd fashion. I don't think you will be accustomed to that if you haven't used e-paper displays. um, but yeah, I really like the look of a e-paper display, and from a design point of view, I think an e-paper display is very unobtrusive to the surroundings or to the space where you're keeping this device. And according to our father of minimalist design, Dieter Rams, a design should not be obtrusive. It should be unobtrusive and it should be true to its purpose. So the purpose of this device is to show the user what the temperature readings, humidity readings, dew points, etc. are, and not be something which is in your face and distracting you from your working space or from the space where you have put it. So that is why I have gone with a very minimalistic design. It almost, so few of my friends told me that it looks like an iPhone from the Stone Age. But yeah, I like the overall look of the device. It's very simple, and the e-paper display adds that um, minimalism and the fact that it is an unobtrusive device. So right now the network configuration is quite rudimentary. As you saw, that it searched for a Ethernet connection first and then it went to the Wi-Fi. So in version 2, I'll kind of streamline it a little bit more. So now you saw that the internet has been enabled, or it has got internet, and it has also got an IP address. So you can see network is Wi-Fi. If it had been connected with the Ethernet cable, the network would have been Ethernet, and you would have got an IP address anyway. And you can see that the device is updating its readings. And just for demonstration purposes, I'll keep my finger on the temperature sensor, and the temperature should increase, as you can see. Yep, it's increasing. How do I show you the particle count? What do I have? Okay, so I had a coil of rope, and let me just brush it on the particle sensor. Uh, the particle count increased. Yep. Yeah, so that is the device. I will put a screenshot of the locally hosted web page on the screen, and yeah, that's about it. I hope the revision 2 of this device is more reliable and yeah, overall better in all aspects. There are a few considerations like this temperature sensor being far away from the board, and a few other design considerations which I have to account for in the version 2. And this device, as you saw right now, it refreshed the screen. So after every 5 minutes, I have programmed it to refresh the entire screen, because e-paper displays have a habit of burning in too fast. So when you are displaying some text on the e-paper display, and if you refresh only that part of the text, it tends to burn in the last printed text on the display. So to avoid that, I am refreshing the entire screen every 5 minutes, and it just starts from a completely white screen and displays the readings. So yeah, that's about it about the IoT enabled environment monitor. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.